Hello, my beautiful people. This is Anna Sharif again. Today, I want us to talk about disability in an African culture, in an African community. You know, the acceptance rate by parent. It varies. Some parent actually comes out and say, "I have a disabled child." Now that awareness is being brought to this particular topic, but it remains hidden most often when parents have a child with disability, mainly because of the myth associated to this type of condition, to this type of topic, you know. But before I go into the myth, I want us to talk about the myth, and I want us to talk about the forms of disability as well, and the acceptance rate. So we have physical disability, which affect the mobility of the person, affect the way you work, you know. And we have visual impairment, which is if you're legally blind, you were born blind, you know. We also have hearing disability, you were born deaf. We have mental disability. It takes a form just as a physical disability. Sometimes the mental ill health, based on my experience, you know, you either get it when you had an accident, you got a brain injury, and you get mental disability. Sometimes you were born with it, you know, but most people don't believe when a child is born, especially in an African setting, that the child was born with that disability, and the rate of coming out and seeking help in the first place, because the child needs to be diagnosed at age 16 months. And if they're not diagnosed at that time, you continue to linger in terms of diagnosis because of our faith that, oh, we're gonna God is gonna take control, God is gonna heal this child. And then you are doing a disservice to that child. The children, if you see that a child is acting differently, it is our responsibility as a parent to take that child for early diagnosis. You know, we also have intellectual disability. It affects your learning. You know, your involves a permanent limitation in a person's ability to learn. It affects our learning. You know, they are slow in learning. So if you see that, you got to seek help. You know, learning disability. We have all these forms of disability. We have autism spectrum disability as well. So these are things that we need to, when we talk about mental health, when we talk about disabilities, we have different categories of them. So for a parent who have an autistic child who is unable to learn in a normal setting, there are resources you can reach out to, and I'll put the numbers down below. There are resources that you can reach out to that it can support this child. However, we have this myth buster in our African community where we say, first myth, that the child is possessed or the parent is possessed. The child is a devil. Your ancestors have done such bad things that created you to have this child, caused you to have this child. We start for calling Chris, man. Do not seeking help. This type of myth are the ones that prevent parents from coming out. But for me, I'll talk to the parent. If you see that your child is behaving in an unusual way, you know, instead of being ashamed of bringing this child or seeking help, it is better for you to seek help. It is nothing to be ashamed of. I've worked with individuals with disability, especially autism spectrum disability, mental health, for over 21 years now. So I have the experience. And even in the United States, the awareness level, you think it's there. It is there, but it is not as much as you expected. I'll give you an example. You know, working with individuals with autism, when you take them for appointment, or you're in a public space, in an elevator, for example, you're standing in the elevator, and you know you are with your person, and somebody else will come in the elevator. The moment they set their eyes on that particular individual, they start squeezing themselves in the corner as if the person is sick. Now, I'm going to give you guys a reality check. They are not sick. Most of us take more medications than individuals with disability, with autism spectrum disability. Most of them don't even take meds. Most of us are sicker than individuals because they are not sick. It is a disorder that they have. But you might think in the United States, the awareness level is there. They have organizations that are trying to bring awareness, such as Autism Speaks. It's an organization. They're trying their level best. However, the public needs to be aware that this is not a communicable disease. It does not transfer nowhere. So this myth that prevents African parents from accepting that their children are disabled, we need to let go of some of these cultural beliefs.